No, we had started with this jack-o'-lantern, with this pumpkin, and then you know how plentiful pumpkins are. You see them all over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brought one, and I brought it to the environment on Sunday morning, and I had carved it, you know, the second time, and I said, "What do you call this thing anyhow?" And they said, "A jack-o'-lantern." I said, "No, that's not a jack-o'-lantern." And they looked at me, even the older kids, as if, "What are you saying?" I said, "It's not a Jill-o'-lantern either." And then the older kids got it. It's a Lorraine-o'-lantern. Lorraine. I'm the one that carved it, so it's my lantern.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So the following Sunday, I had so much fun with that and talking about it, and I had brought the seeds. A lot of kids don't get to feel the seeds. They they carve. I mean, they color the outside of the pumpkin, put a face on it. But when we were kids, we would dig into it and get into the gush and the goo. So I had counted how many. I had counted seeds. And I said, "How many seeds do you think this pumpkin had?" Oh, they didn't know. They saw quite a few there. And I said, "If anyone who wants to take a guess, give it to your teacher, and we'll see how many seeds you think that this pumpkin had." Well, then it was, you know, and we had like 350 some.
Holy.
And I said, "That's a lot of seed for one pumpkin." And you think of how generous God is, how gracious God is. So here, when we had the Halloween experience with the elders, I thought how fun it would be to, in the fall or in the spring, plant a pumpkin, get a pumpkin patch going, and then you'd get so many pumpkins, and they'd water it, and the kids would watch it grow. Grandparent kids would come in, and then when it got around Halloween time, they would choose a pumpkin. If there weren't that many, go to the store and get some, and anyone who wanted to be a part of this project could have a pumpkin, and then lay out some newspaper on tables and have a carving adventure where the little kids watch. The little kids get to do the goo.
Oh,
the older kids get to do the carving, or daddy, and you know, so there's a family activity going right there. Then so we named these all, whoever is the family pumpkin. I mean, it's their name. They carved it, and when there's a lot of people come here for Halloween, and I would think we could either put the old lanterns out in the driveway, you know, as they come in, or they could have them sitting beside the family who's been passing out the treats for people who come by.
My thinking when you mentioned the number of seeds, like 300 and some, how gracious God was.
Oh, God is
now, wonder if you take that one pumpkin and take all those seeds, and then next year plant each of those seeds. How many pumpkins would you have at the end of the year?
Yeah.
So the multiplication.
That's right.
If you do something good, and it'll grow, and then they will grow, and it'll grow, and just keep expanding.
Yeah. Or another thing you could do later is that, you know, you take your seeds and you bake them, you dry them out, and you put some salt in that on, and have a party where you enjoy again another event with the family. Serve some cider, and so that would be Halloween.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Lorraine. You're not going to see it. You're planting good ideas.
Well,
well, you will never go to see it.
You know, a part of my generation is you're this old, and you plant the seeds. You know, the flower then gives forth the seed, and you plant new ideas for the future generation.
Well, isn't this a form of what intergenerational relationships is all about?
Sure,
is to transfer that information to a new generation, so that they will also be able to grow and grow. I mean, maybe intergenerational studies is really a way to give, I call it, life to another person. And maybe I don't want to go as far as say you'll have everlasting life, but maybe you'll have another generation.
Yeah, you would. I mean, you spread the good, like Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
He went and spread, you know, he planted apple trees all over the country.